Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here for video number 2 on your late, almost very very close to late Sunday night, August the 23rd, 2026, or if you're watching later, or whenever you're watching this, it is now August the 24th, 2026. Thank you all for watching right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 66. Tired. 9. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down below in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. Share the video all over the internet. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos from the past, now, and in the future, Conan. But don't leave stupid comments. You get sent to the Shadow Realm, beaten with some barbed wire and a bat, with a barbed wire baseball bat. And then place it in Iron Maiden, and Ozzy and Satan will come out. Whatever's left of you, they'll eat your fucking soul. Excuse me, and that's that. So don't leave stupid comments, you'll get blocked, and you'll never be heard from again. If you don't like it, too bad. Don't be stupid. And that's that. Share the video all over the internet, like I said before. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you miss anything, you're pretty much SOL. I think we all know what that means by now. And if you don't know, look it up. And that's that. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab the cold one, lapel. Drinking a little bit light, drinking some electrolytes before we go to bed. That's that. But whatever you're drinking whenever you're watching my video, then do it. Sit back, relax, grab yourself that tasty cold one and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, too bad. You're gonna like it anyway. And that's pretty much it. Alright, enough about that bull funky. Hope you had a great weekend, everybody. Start the new work week. Pretty much the final official week of August, as the dog days of August are pretty much about to end. Pretty much, well, really next Monday they kind of end. So then Labor Day weekend, next weekend, my friends, not this coming weekend, but next weekend, Labor Day weekend, the unofficial end of summer. September begins. Football will be beginning in pretty much 2 weeks from Thursday. Can't wait for that for the 49ers. And the Rams on Netflix from Australia, mate. But we got that. The final preseason games are this coming week. Jets and Giants on Friday. Niners and the Raiders, I think, on Friday or Saturday. I forgot what date, but well, pretty much, you know, football's about to start. And preseason hockey, preseason basketball on the horizon next month. And then before you know it, we're starting the fall season with football, hockey, basketball. College basketball will be coming up later in October, November, really November. College football begins pretty soon. So all that other good shit. And we move on. Hey, congrats to the New York Liberty. Clinched the playoffs. So, looking to repeat. So we'll see what happens with that. And, well, New York Mets, well, they stink, and good night, you know. Pretty much over now. It's just a matter of time before pretty much the tracking number has been up since April, so. Just playing out the last 30-some-odd games, you know, the last month of the season, 5 weeks left as of, well, under 5 weeks, starting today. Starting Monday, be under 5 weeks, so. 30-some-odd games, guys. There's no chance. There's no chance right now. They were supposed to, if they lost 6 games, they already lost pretty much 3. So if they lose 3 more games, pretty much you can kiss the wild card chances goodbye, but I don't think there's a chance. There's no chance. And they got Milwaukee and Houston this week at home. You think they're going to win that? No chance. There's no chance. I'm not even caring right now. I'm gearing up for football right now. So that's all I care about. Yankees, who cares about the Yankees? They're gonna make the playoffs as a wild card. At least a wild card at the moment. I don't know how many games back they are of Tampa Bay, but who cares? The Yankees ain't going anywhere anyway. I think this might be the year the Dodgers again, they three-peat, or Well, Dodgers can't be beat now, so who knows who comes out of that American League, as long as it's not the Yankees, but they'll probably face the Dodgers unless they get embarrassed in the second or third round, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, but that's far ahead when we move on. Alright, enough about that bull funky, ladies and gentlemen. I'm tired. It's late. I'll just say that. It's late. I'm doing it. I'm recording this. By the time you see this, I'm in bed. So, but it is what it is. I got a half day of work tomorrow anyway, so. Well, actually, I don't have a half day of work. I do go to work, but I have a important meeting during work. So, that's, but that's later in the day. It's not in the morning. It's like in the afternoon, so. And that's that. And then Tuesday, I have a half day. Pretty much I have a half day on Tuesday, and then pretty much the rest of the week I'm busy. So, but it is what it is. But we move on with that, but that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, really quickly, on the Kill Demons channel, check out my video from earlier in the day, my TNA lockdown predictions on episode 125 of the Shadow Slayer 2.0 series. Did that way earlier. Link will be down below in the gobbledygook. Lockdown was actually pretty damn good. Not great, but good. We had new champions. The Nemeth brothers beat the Hardys to become the new tag team champions once again. So Nick is a double champion. First guy since Kurt Angle back in I think 2006 or 7 to be the world champion and hold one half of the tag team championships. So that's pretty damn nice. Leon Slater, the new X Division champion, but then, almost like a half hour later, because he won the title 2 matches before the main event, he won the title and then came out after the main event to cash in his X Division championship. He used option C. And at Bound for Glory, he will fight Nick Nemeth for the world title, and if he wins, becomes the youngest world champion in TNA history. He got his number 2 spot on the X Division list behind Austin Aries. I thought it was AJ. I could have sworn it was AJ, but obviously not. But it's Austin Aries, so. And now Leon Slater at number 2 officially. Now, pretty much that title reign goes bye-bye because he's using option C, so I would assume now they're going to start a new tournament or something to crown a new X Division champion. I would not be surprised if they do that in Ultimate X again, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, the Prophecy keeps the tag team titles. Why? Because an old friend, Kiera Hogan, came back, and she has signed back on with TNA. That's pretty damn nice, so Prophecy wins over the Elegance brand. Because Heather, by Elegant's little trick, backfired because she tried to handcuff Allie to the cage. Because she got out of the cage because she's so fucking small and little. Like a freaking midget got out of that cage and was like, oh, I'm gonna handcuff you. Wrong. Kiera Hogan, I think, won with a bridging German suplex. So the Prophecy keep the tag team titles because Rosemary is out for 6 months with some type of injury that she sustained at a freaking house show. Another indie show, but it is what it is. So Allie's like, oh, I made some calls, but we still don't know where Rosemary is. I don't know if they're going to explain that on Thursday. Or how are they going to explain where Rosemary is? I mean, they storyline written off, basically, but I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with that, but we got that. Xia Brookside retained over Corey Jade in a bloody as fuck match. Well, Corey Jade was busted wide open. I mean, there was a lot of blood tonight. I think every match had blood in it. I think except the main event didn't have blood. But pretty much every match had blood. And that Lethal Lockdown match, woo, that was crazy as fuck. That was crazy. Jason Hotch and Ali, oy. I mean, there was a couple of scary spots. I mean, the pile driver on top of the turnbuckle, Eesh. I'm surprised Ali still has his neck attached to his head. That was crazy. Then Jason Hodge with a flippy dippy doo from the top of the cage to the outside of the cage to a table. That was crazy. But Ali came back and won the title back. Right, because he took Jason Hodge's daughter's toy. He's like, oh, beat him up with it. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. So I don't know what's going to happen on Thursday night. What else happened? I'm thinking, AJ, my good buddy AJ Francis beat Elijah thanks to the returning, Expressions, who did his best Kevin Nash impersonation by getting out of the wheelchair. He can walk! That was stupid, but still, it is what it is. But, all in all, Lockdown I thought it was pretty damn good. Now on the road to Bound for Glory. Starting on Thursday. On TNA Empire Wrestling on AMC. But we got that. But anyway, let's do an in-depth review tomorrow after Raw. Because Raw's at 6 tomorrow, guys. Not 8, 6, because they're doing a double taping. So we got that. But let's talk about Raw from last week. So we're going to do a mini Raw Smackdown thoughts, you understand? Thoughts. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Raw from last Monday. And I thought Raw was alright. And the ending, not so good, Al, if you're the tribal chief, you know what I mean? But we get that. Alright, so Raw, let me get my notes hooked up here. Okay. So Raw emanated from the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York, Gene. And as always, Michael Cole and Corey Slaves, our commentary team. And we got that. So we started off Raw with La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer. She comes out looking amazing. Her tatas are popping out. God damn you, Miles Osborne. Well, don't call him Ozzy Osbourne. Bagging that hot piece of Spanish ass, you fucker. But anyway, she comes out, gets right to the point, and says, hey, Liv Morgan, get out here, you puta, I was like, shit. So on cue, Liv Morgan comes out, trouble, trouble, that's me, cherry lips and bad energy, say it once, say it twice, and she'll give it to you all night, bite me, stuff like that. So she comes out with the Intercontinental Champion Raquel Rodriguez and the beautiful Roxanne Perez. So Liv comes out, mocks the man, Becky Lynch, for being worried about her, mocking the women's division, and all who came before her. And why should Liv care? She don't have to. She wants to be the greatest world champion of all time. And then she's like, oh, I beat you so many times there, Stephanie, I don't want to fight you. I've given you so many beatdowns, why should I? So Stephanie's like, get in here, I want to fight anyway. So, 3-on-1 beatdown, but eventually Stephanie sends Roxanne into Raquel and to the floor, and a super kick hits Liv, but Roxanne and Raquel come right back to continue the 3-on-1 beatdown. Then, the man, Becky Lynch comes out for the save. Then they get into a shoving match. What else is new? I'm like, yup, triple threat's coming. Probably. I was thinking maybe a Sunday Night's main event, or this continues all the way to freaking Money in the Bank, which kind of makes no sense, but okay. So they're arguing, and Liv sends Becky into the ring post. Ow. She lays out Stephanie again. So yeah, there's going to be some type of, maybe a 6-woman tag team match on Sunday night's main event. Coming up, next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday. So, who's that going to be? I have no idea. Maybe be Io. I mean, put Io back in the world title picture. Why not? Not doing anything. Just there sitting pretty, looking, just on Raw, they look pretty and make my dick hard, but that's no story for another time. But we move on. So, we'll see what happens with all that situation. We'll move on. Alright, then a card comes in, well, not the Tribal Chief yet, but the other members of the Bloodline Jimmy and Jay Uso and the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu Yamin. They come into the arena along with Solo Mibuki, because of what Jay did on Smackdown last week, the week before I should say, winning, and now he has to deliver Solo to the Tribal Chief. So they're walking in the back, they run in to eat like Drake. That's an insult, that's a fact of life. Yeah. He's not happy. When is he ever happy? He's right by the Bloodline's dressing room. And they pretty much walk into the dressing room because obviously Roman is there. Supposedly Roman's there, but he's not there. But so we'll see what happens with the Bloodline when we move on. And Solo, I should say, too. Alright, then we finally get to the action, because a little less talk and a lot more action on Monday Night Raw. We have bouncy Javon Evans taking on JD McDumpfuck in an impromptu match that was just set up during a break that we didn't see if you have Netflix with ads, like I do, which sucks, but it is what it is. Anyway, pretty decent match. Dominic Guerrero is the Mega Champion at ringside. And that event's coming up. The Triple Op pay-per-view is coming up this Sunday at 12. What was it called? Oro de Calor. Which I think means the color of... I don't even know what color means. I think it's ring color or some shit like that. I know Oro, I think, means ring. So it's ring of something. Ring of color, I don't know. So that's going to be at 12 o'clock. That's going to lead into All In at 2 p.m. from London. And then at 3 p.m. we got Heat Wave. So pretty much from 3 to about 5, 6 o'clock, NXT and All In going head to head. You know NXT's gonna get wiped out for that, even with fucking Mike Santana and Zila. That's why you should. WWE never learns. Do not, and I mean do not, put an event on the same day and the same time as an AEW pay-per-view. Do that with TNA, I don't care, but WWE does not learn from their mistakes. Because every time AEW has a pay-per-view, the AEW pay-per-view is much better than the NXT pay-per-view. It's pretty obvious for the last year or so. Dumb. So, this coming Sunday, All In's gonna wipe out Heat Wave. I don't care how good it is. But we get that. Alright, back to Javon and JD. Pretty good match. Eventually, Dom kind of gets involved. And then Javon loads up something from inside to the announcer's table, which does not break. I am the table. And then he avoids a moonsault by JD. Then he hits the OG Gimme Kata Bang, which he needs to stop doing because he steals it from me. Bastard. Javon, you're gonna have to be paying me soon. I mean, starting tomorrow, you owe me 1,000. And I'm not talking about pesos, I'm talking about human money, as Mr. Danhausen would say, so stop using it. Or you're gonna be, broke pretty soon. But anyway. Alright, so Javon wins with the OG cutter. That's pretty much it. Then, after the match, for the third week in a row, Big Cass, he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. He comes out, lays out Javon again. Freaking Corey Graves, I mean, they're starting a storyline, I think, where Corey Graves is like, don't give a fuck about Big Cass, and eventually Big Cass is gonna hear it, and we might see, Mr. Corey Graves back in the ring for the first time in, like, how many years? By the way, Corey Graves, yeah, I hate saying this, but he is a former Hard 24/7 champion. Remember when he beats Byron, and then Byron beat him? And then Byron eventually lost it all the way. I think there was like so many people that won it after that, and then eventually, R-Truth got it back, and then the final 24/7 champion, we all know, Nikki Cross, who threw it in the dumpster where it belonged. That Olive Garden title looked like shit. But I digress. So anyway, Big Cass beats up Javon for the third week in a row. He goes to leave, and then Javon's like, "Get back here, you son of a bitch!" I'm like, Javon, you want more beating? Okay, so Cass is like, alright, I'll give you more of a beating, but Javon sucking him in, and kind of got, hit like a one-legged flippy dippity do. And then, he's beating up Big Cass, and then eventually Dominic Guerrero sent him into the ring post to finish that off. So I would assume tomorrow evening, not night, tomorrow evening, Javon versus Dom Dom. You like that one, Eddie? Eddie's sleeping. I can't bother him right now. He's probably, he told me, he's like, it's not, you don't care. He's gonna, his son's gonna win, most likely. But we got that. Alright. Speaking of luchadors, we recapped the Lucha tournament with Rey Fenix and El Fiscal, which just means the prosecutor. I didn't know that until I read my notes. But, well, Rosa told me too, but, because she's like that. So they're ready for their first round match, which begins right now. So the Triple A Cruiserweight title not on the line. I think there's I think it's on the line on this week on NXT. I think they had the Fatal 4-Way last week. I think the Triple A title is on the line this week. I could be wrong, but anyway. 9-minute match. Yeah, there was no way El Fiscal was going to win this match. So Rey Fenix gets the win with the Mexican Muscle Buster. So he goes to the semifinals where he will face, guess who? Dragon Lee Fenix. So Dragon Lee Fenix takes on Rey Dragon Lee Fenix on Raw tomorrow night. And Pentagon Zero Miedo had an interesting weekend with Pelos de Mal, who kicked out Bronco Nima. What a waste that was. So Pentagon will face La Paca. Can't do his dance anymore, but... So that's going to be interesting tomorrow night. So, obviously they're setting up Rey Fenix and Pentagon for the finals to see who loses to Roman on September the 14th. Obviously, Roman's going to win that against Pentagon most. Doesn't matter. Pentagon wins, he's losing. Rey Fenix wins, he's losing. So, it doesn't matter. But, the Lucha Brothers are, teaming back up at, I think at Triple Mania with, who are they teaming up with? Shoot. I forgot. They're teaming up with somebody against, Pelos de Mal, the remaining members. Well, 3 of them remaining members. And almost stop. We'll move on with that. Alright, so Rey Fenix beats El Fiscal to go to the semis. Like I said, he will face Dragon Lee. That's that. Alright. Roxanne Perez still wants the women's title when, then the man Becky Lynch comes in. Then there's no fighting, just a stare down. Roxy tells her to stay away from her, but Becky says, I'll always be here when you're going for the title that I want. So, I think tomorrow we're getting Roxy and Becky. Should be an interesting match, but I think Becky might win that, or might be some chicanery with Raquel Rodriguez, or Liv Morgan comes out. Stephanie's going to be around somewhere. Sophia McCurry, she's like, look at that. Alright, then we got the Lassie bitch from Ireland. Light that fat kitty. She can't believe she's not getting anything after taking Bayley. Give me a hug. And Bayley might be coming back to WWE because of her if you've seen her tweets as of late, she actually sent one to Adam Pearce. It's like, hey, we gotta talk. And Adam Pearce is like, you know where to find me. So, and then, Blake Monroe, oh my, she heard about it. She's like, don't come to SmackDown, because you'll get your ass handed to you. I'm like, oh, Bayley might be going to SmackDown. And Tiffy Time, former U.S. champion, now has pink hair. Kind of reminds me of, what's that bitch's name, that sucks so bad. The one that was married to the lead singer of, the guy that looked like the lead singer of Live. What was her name, I was thinking someone with an E. What's her name? Not Eva Mendes, Eve Torres. I can't think of her fucking name. That bitch, you can't wrestle. But, Eva Marie, that's her stupid name. Yeah. But, Tiffy looks way hotter than Eva Marie, but, But she got pink hair. I assume maybe she was listening to Nicki Minaj. You know, she loves pink. So. Daddy, like my hair? Yeah, Sunshine, it's nice. You don't like it? I like it. When you talk about Sunshine, I like it. I don't know about your boyfriend, but if he likes it, he likes it. I mean, he likes the pink taco, but that's... Why is she with that guy? That guy sucks so bad, Shady. Dude, get out of WWE. Get out of NXT. You are garbage on LFG. If anybody's seen his last couple matches, he is so bad. And he doesn't even listen to, like, Bubba Ray. He doesn't even listen to any of the coaches at all. He wants to be himself. He wants to do his judo garbage. I mean, people have had that type of gimmick where they come in, they're all about, except for Speedball Mike Bailey, and maybe a couple others who have, like, martial arts backgrounds, like Steve Blackman and, people like Steve Blackman and people like that. At least they came into WWE or AEW or TNA. You know, they know a thing or two, but they have, they use that in their character. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Look at Karen Petrovic. She has some martial arts training. She did decently on NXT. Now, pretty much they send her down to Triple R to be in Paris Del Mal for I don't know what reason. See if that works. It's kind of working down there. She's in Evolve. She was on Evolve a couple times, but, and she was briefly in that stable with Natalya, Nikita Lyons, and Layla Diggs, who's still hurt. But, fuck, man. Tiffy, you need to get rid of him. I'm sorry. He is just not good. He's definitely not going to be getting a contract with NXT. I don't know. You could be there for 5-6 years, and, he'll be on, the next 5 seasons of LFG. He's still not getting it. Get him out. Release the guy. And Tiffy's like, well, next up, call me, Tiff. I'm ready. I'm waiting. Should have never let Marcel, but now Marcel is with a hotter, well, not say hotter chick, but he's happy with Andrea down there in Mexico. She mentioned she has a German boyfriend. I don't know if it was on Triple R or it was. I saw it on Twitter. I don't know if it was her Twitter or what it was. She mentions I have a hot German boyfriend. So I'm like, wait a minute. Aren't you going out with El Grande Americano? What does that mean? Are you cheating on him? Somebody better talk to Andrea. What the hell are you doing? She's one hot piece of ass, but she's going out with a German boyfriend. El Grande Americano's like, hey, mamacita, what are you doing in this? Anyway, so we got that. So anyway, Lyra's talking about Bayley. Like I said, Bayley might be coming back. Well, so all those people who thought Bayley was going to AEW, well, you're wrong. It still happened, but now that they might actually have something for Bayley to do. So anyway, now that she took Bayley out momentarily, it's all about Sol Ruka, the resident surfer girl who can't do anything impressive because Lyra could do everything. She's like, Sol, you're just surfing past me, and I'm gonna get my Intercontinental title back. Probably. We'll get that. Alright, so we get to that match, and was actually pretty damn good for under 11 minutes. They go back and forth. We get to the end, a top rope axe kick by Lyra. That was great. I mean, Booker T's like, oh yeah, man, that was great. He loved that near fall. Sol gets hit with a backbreaker out of the corner, but manages to escape Nightwing, hits a tornado DDT to set up the Soul Snatcher. 1, 2, 3. Sol Ruka gets the win over Lyra. I think that this feud is far from over, but we'll go on. Going on. Alright, then we see the Usos go up to Jacob Fatu. I mean, Jay brags about beating Solo when Jacob couldn't, and Jay's like, who the punk ass now there, Jacob? Oh, Jay, you're trying to be serious now, okay? Jacob like, don't be talking to me like that. Pop smack right in the mouth or some shit. Alright, move on. Alright, after that, Austin Theory and his hot girlfriend, Maxine Dupree. They're rather happy with how badly Alpha Academy has been destroyed. I mean, we haven't seen both of them got destroyed by Braun Breaker, basically. And speaking of Braun, still in a trance, by the way. He's asked about Oba, and says, anything I have to say to Oba, I'm going to say to his face out in that ring. So, Maxine and Austin, and I think they had Logan Paul there, too. I might have missed it. But anyway, Austin Theory and Maxine go somewhere else to fuck. What else is new, Maxine's dumping Cam Hendricks. What's the point? I don't care, it's only acting, right? Yeah, you're just in the back, and then you're supposed to be acting, and you're like, grabbing, Austin's grabbing her booty, and, kissing her neck down to her tatas, you know what I mean? Maxine's almost supposed to be acting, right? And then the director's like, cut! No. No, they got so much chemistry, so... You really think they're gonna stay together? I'm talking about Maxine and Anthony Luke. Somebody's going to divorce court. Austin Theory, you lucky bastard. And I'm not sad. Alright, so Braun goes to the ring, calls Oba out. So instead of Oba, the wise man, my name is Paul Heyman, he comes out and he says, the one thing that is wise is to find out who the future of WWE is. So Braun's like, well, why didn't you tell me about it, Paul? And then that brings out Oba. Femi, who? The Wula. Comes out and says, well, you asked the same questions. Why are you thinking that, Paul? Who's the future, Paul? Did a great Braun Breaker impression. He really went out of character with that one. I told you he's from Boston. I mean, he's not from Boston, but... He's from Nigeria, but he has, this great American accent. You can't even tell he's from Nigeria. I'm telling you, I think he lives, actually, in Boston. I think. I don't know. He's built from Nigeria, but he has that... he doesn't talk Nigerian. I think we've seen him. Well, I don't think we've seen him on air. I think it's in random off interviews, or maybe I think one NXT interview he actually uses real voice, and it's American. So he has a Bostonish accent. That's just my opinion, but it is what it is. But anyway, he's like, "Who's the future, Paul?" And he's like, well, Brock Lesnar knew who the future was. The fans know who the future is. I know who the future is, and you know who the future is. And it's me. So he's like, well, if you got a problem with that, then let's do something about it. So Braun's he's ready to fight, and Heyman's like, whoa, no, we're not doing it right now. This is a publicly traded company. We don't do this kind of thing for free. So, we gotta promote this on Sunday night's main event. So, we're gonna have a contract signing tomorrow. And really, Sunday night's main event is on free TV. I mean, if you have ESPN or ESPN Plus or whatever it is, the ESPN app. I was gonna say Peacock, but, we're not seeing it live on actual TV. We have to, watch it on a stream or watch it on ESPN, the app, which is stupid. And I heard that I think it was ESPN. I think it's ESPN. They're raising their price rate. Why? I know Netflix did that back. I think back in May. It was April or May. I think May or June. They raised it $1 to $8.99 from $7.99 to now $8.99. Doesn't matter to me, man. Doesn't matter to me. I'm paying. I actually still get it for free, but I had to pay an extra $1 to my bill, so it's just $1. I care less. I'm paying a lot for the rich man's cable, but still, And I have Netflix for free for another year and change. Well, I think another 13. I think it's 13 or 14 more months. I got Netflix, so. But that's the deal I get. I get it for free, but then after by the end of next year, I either will be paying $8.99 added to my bill, or probably just take Netflix off and watch it on my PS5 for free anyway. That's what I'm probably gonna do. I'm gonna probably just take off Netflix on Dish and just use my PS5 and watch it for free, and I save basically I save $9. I might be a cheap fuck saying that, but I don't care. I get Amazon for free, because it's on my Dish package, so. But I could get Amazon for free on my PS5 too, so. The only thing I really paid for is Paramount Plus. That's it. Because I gotta watch Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, I gotta watch. Shut up. Settle down, Beavis. Alright, moving on. Anyway, so Sunday night's main event, Braun Breaker and Oba, it's gonna be big beefy men slapping meat, and then Heyman's like, that's good business. And then they leave, and then, pretty much, Braun leaves, and then we see, Oba and Paul shaking hands. Braun's like, the fuck, Paul? So, I think, Oba might be the new Paul Heyman guy? Or could it be Cody, or what he said on Smackdown? Paul's got it. Paul's, he's breaking away from the vision, thank the Lord for that. And now, he has nobody really to be the wise man to, or the oracle, the advocate, or whatever is next for him. So, who's going to be the next Paul Heyman guy? Cody? Possibly Cody finally turning heel? Or Oba? A face Oba? Being with a face Heyman? Or does Oba eventually turn back to being a heel like he was in NXT? We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But tomorrow, the contract signing, that's going to be full chicanery. Because no contract signing ever goes well. Somebody gets put through a table or something. So, we got that. Alright, then we got doing promos from Dragon Lee Phoenix and El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., ready to win in honor of his family and his dad, Dr. Wagner Sr. So to get to the match, the final match in the quarterfinals, winner faces Ray Phoenix. Pretty decent match, nothing great about it, but 11-minute match. We get a Eddie Guerrero-like frog splash by Dr. Wagner, gets a near fall, goes to the Wagner driver, that gets broken up, and then Dragon Lee hits Operation Dragon 1, 2, 3, so he gets the win, and he will face Ray Phoenix tomorrow. That's gonna be pretty damn epic match, and the winner of that will face Pentagon and La Parka. I think we see where we're going. I said before, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon, the brothers going at it on I don't even know when that match is. I think it might be the week on the Labor Day Raw, the week before September 14th, and that's the week before they go to Mexico to see who loses to Roman in Mexico. How sad is that? Both of them are from Mexico, and they're gonna get destroyed in their home country by Roman. See, if it wasn't a difference, if it wasn't in Mexico, Roman has the advantage anyway. Wherever he goes, he has the advantage, but it is what it is. He's gonna win. There's no way they're gonna have Roman lose a title in Mexico, of all places. And then people are like, oh, Eli Drake should win the title at Money in the Bank. How about no? It's not happening. If Roman does lose the title, it's probably gonna be to maybe the winner of Money in the Bank, whoever that might be. God forbid it's Oba. Oba shouldn't even be in Money in the Bank. He already has a guaranteed, semi-guaranteed title shot from winning King of the Ring, and they go back to that, because he said he put it on. He's putting cashing in the King of the Ring title shot on hold to deal with Brock, and now he has to deal with Braun Breaker after he's done with him on, I assume, on Sunday Night's Main Event. We're gonna see what happens with him, and then maybe he'll wait. He'll wait to Survivor Series, or probably after Survivor Series. I don't even know if they're doing WrestlePalooza again. I don't even think they should. WrestlePalooza 1 was alright. I don't know if they're gonna do WrestlePalooza 2 this year, but if we see Oba and Roman, probably won't be till the Royal Rumble. And with that rumor that Roman might defend the title in the Royal Rumble match, and then Oba wins the title because of The Rock, yeah. If that comes true, I want to smack the person who thought of that rumor. It's not me, it's somebody on, don't listen to Twitter. All these fake Twitter theories. It's just ridiculous. If they want to do Rock and Roman, it doesn't need the title. Then just let Roman not defend the title at WrestleMania. I know it sucks, but it's WrestleMania! Yeah, I know it's the biggest fucking pay-per-view ever for WWE purposes, but if Roman does have to lose, why don't it just be the Oba in a one-on-one match at the Rumble or at the Elimination Chamber? Or on a random Saturday Night's Main Event before Mania. That's what I would do. Or just have Oba and Roman as a backup plan for Mania. Have Oba win the Royal Rumble. So now he gets 2 title shots. Or maybe 3 because, I still say have Oba, Roman, whenever you want to do it, have Oba get screwed by somebody, he takes care of that, then he gets a title shot, then he wins the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber, then he faces Roman at Mania, he beats Roman at Mania, and then Roman can do whatever he wants next summer. Or next spring after Mania, he'll probably go away. He's not going to be full-time that much anymore, like he is now, but who knows? That's what I would book it. I would book Oba Roman at Mania, not Oba Rock, because they can start thinking about that, and then have Rock come back sometime by the end of this year. They tease it, and then Rock be like, "Oh, I can't make it." Maybe he gets injured on the set of a boring film or some shit like that. "Oh, I can't do it. I can't make it." And the Blood Prince's like, "I want the money. Give me the money." Rock's like, "Oh, take the money. Take the money and shove it up your candy ass, But, we're so far away from Mania. We do all these fantasy booking things, and that's my fantasy booking right there. Oba wins the title at Mania. Should have happened, really. Well, not this year, per se, but next year. I'd have Oba... I would have Oba... Probably on the, not, I think there's one more, there has to be at least 1 or 2 more Saturday Night's Main Event coming up. I would have the last one this year be Oba Roman. Roman wins by disqualification, or Oba wins by disqualification thanks to the bloodline. And then Oba just destroys the Usos. Then we can have Oba versus Jacob, which I think would be great. Or maybe they save it. Oba Roman on the Netflix premiere, the 2-year premiere of Netflix, the 2-year anniversary of Netflix. The beginning of January. January 3rd or 4th, something like that. Why don't you do that there? It's on Raw. Roman versus Oba 2, Electric Boogaloo, on the Netflix premiere. Maybe that's where Roman could lose the title there, have Oba win it. Roman enters the Royal Rumble, trying to repeat. Sadly, he probably will not win it. And the only way Roman can get to Oba again is win the Elimination Chamber, which I don't think he ever won. I have to look that up. Or maybe I can ask Issa that one, but I don't think Roman's ever won the Elimination Chamber. So if Roman wants a rematch, I would put Roman in the Elimination Chamber, win the Elimination Chamber, go to Mania, maybe get the title back from Oba at Mania, go on like another reign. Or maybe just says, you know what, this is his actual final reign as champion. Maybe just have him chase for like a year. You know, right now he's over 100 and change days as the champ, so. Yeah, because he won in April, it's almost September. So, getting close to. I'm getting close. I think it's around 115, 130 right now. Somewhere around there. Getting close to 150. He's on the road to 150 as of right now. So. But he'll hold it for pretty much the rest of the year. I would think he'll hold it for the rest of the year. So that's 8 months. So times 8 by 30, 204. He might go one full year as champ, or at least get close to 1 full year as champ. And then probably lose it at Mania, or maybe lose it at the Royal Rumble. So, I think officially, he'll probably be over 200 days as champ. Or maybe he loses on day 365. I mean, he lost the belt at 13-16. I mean, we're not going to see that again. I mean, forget that. For a men's title, I doubt we'll see 13-16 again. In any promotion. That includes AEW and Ring of Honor. And TNA. Athena crushed that. 13 going on, about to hit 1360. She retained it at Death Before Dishonor on Friday to hit 1350. So as of this video, 1353. 1353 for Athena. Who beats her? I asked that on Twitter. People, I actually went on the Media Scrum video on YouTube. I said, who beats Athena now? People saying Deonna Purrazzo, the Pure Champion, Red Velvet, the TV champ. I was like, we've done that before with her. She lost. So I'm thinking it has to be Deonna at this point. I mean, if they want to do Billy Stark's Athena again, for like their 16,000th match at Final Battle, and then finally Billy Starks wins. I mean, great. 4.5 years, almost 4 years later, they finally give it to Billy Starks. Probably not. And Athena even said at the Scrum she would love to face Maya World again, because she said that loss in the Owen Hart tournament did not sit well with her. She wants to, get that win back. So what I would do is have Athena versus Maya World for maybe both titles, if Maya holds on to it by that time. Have Maya versus Athena, I think 3 in a tree. Have Maya win the Ring of Honor title, and then hold the Ring of Honor title and the TBS title, and then eventually lose the TBS title to, I would say, Chris Cakelander at this point. It doesn't matter, but... And then have Maya continue continue kicking ass in Ring of Honor, and then maybe her and Hyena Huntress win the women's tag team titles. Maybe. But if Athena does lose, I think it has to be either Maya World at this point or Deonna Purrazzo by Final Battle. They have to do something between now and Final Battle. Because she beat Timu Io, which is Hazuki. She beat Shuri. She's pretty much beaten almost every superstar in Japan and Stardom. I mean, who's the next one up? She beat Momo. I still think that maybe when she does finally go to the AEW main roster, she should face Mercedes Moné for the AEW World Title, win that, and then go on a monster run with the AEW Women's Title. Like, hold that for 4 years. I doubt that, but they have to have somebody to be the next face of the women's division in Ring of Honor. Because right now, the only people you got is Deonna Purrazzo and Red Velvet. I mean, you got Mina there, but I'd like to have Mina as the world champ, but still. Mina's just there. Mina's probably, her and Queen Amanada might win the women's titles at this point. They're doing some good stuff on Ring of Honor. But there's no Ring of Honor women's tag team titles. You have to go for the AEW women's tag team titles. So, I don't know anymore. Alright, anyway, this thoughts video is going to turn into a review of different things, but it is what it is. Alright, so Rey Fenix gets the win there. We move on. Alright, then we get to probably the match of the night. Intercontinental title match. Chad Gable in his pickup truck takes on Rey Mysterio, Booyaka Booyaka. And match was great. 13 plus minutes of epicness. They just went back and forth. We're getting to the end. Rey comes back, hits a 619 in the corner, then another one. The fans are going completely berserk. They think Rey's going to get the Intercontinental title back, which is already held before. Goes for the top rope Eddie Guerrero splash, but you're not Eddie Guerrero, they're Rey. And that's what happens. You get the Eddie Guerrero curse. Chad got his knees up. Puts on the ankle lock that could reverse into a cradle, but Gable reversed the cradle into a cradle of his own. 1, 2, 3, Chad Gable retains the title in an epic match. 13 minutes and 19 seconds, and then after the match, a code of honor. You'll love to see that. Let me move on. Then we get to the final segment of the night. Roman comes out, our Tribal Chief. Put up your ones for the Tribal Chief. So he comes out with Jacob for the solo, for Solo to come out and get, come back to the bloodline. So the Usos come out, they're all happy. Solo comes out looking like he's being sent to the gallows. He's being sent to his execution, basically. So Roman brings up, almost 3 years ago, Roman beat Solo in Tribal Combat on the Netflix premiere. And then we go into a video package of Solo mocking Roman and the Bloodline for the last couple of years, when he had his own Bloodline, which failed. So then, we come back, Roman's like, oh, you think you're a tough guy, you're cool now, you're like, pew pew, all this stuff. Then he takes off Solo's sunglasses, stomps the crap out of it. And he's like, hey Solo, you want to bet you're begging for forgiveness? I ain't gonna give you shit. And then before Solo can even say something to Roman, Jacob super kicks him out of nowhere, locks in the Tongan death grip, and then Roman's like, hey, whoa, calm down, Jacob, calm down. Just stand in the corner and just stay there. I'll take care of this. So then he gets on the mic, praises Jimmy and Jay for the success, calls them made men, and if you disrespect them, you disrespect him. And he says, they're my captains now. Then he gives them some black Ulafalas, and Jacob gets nothing. I'm like, oh, Jacob's like, hey, where's mine, Tribal Chief? Well, I have a feeling Solo might be, Solo. So Jacob might be going to Solo and saying, I love you, Solo! I'm like, I hope not, but. So anyway, and then Drake comes out, clears out the Usos. And then Roman and Jacob take him down, 2-on beatdown. And then Roman tells Solo, finish him off. So Solo's about to spike Eli. And he's like, I'm sorry. Boom, hits fucking Roman, you fucking bastard, Solo. I thought he was coming home, but no. We have to keep Solo home. Pew, 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 pew. There's so many pews and it stinks. Right? Pepe the Pew. But anyway, so Solo spikes Roman. Fans are like, what the fuck? And then Eli and Solo clear out the Usos, because the Usos can't do anything. Oh, we're gonna, they see him they see Roman getting beat up, and what's next? They get beat up. They get taken out. Roman comes back with a, and tries for a Superman punch, gets caught in a BFT by Eli, and then Solo and Eli fist bump, and then Jacob just stands there, does nothing. He started to help, and then he just stood in the corner after Roman's like, no, don't do anything, just stand there. And then, if you continue to watch on the YouTube exclusive, Eli's like, it's like, you owe me one now. So, I'm thinking Solo might be helping Eli maybe win the world title at Money in the Bank. I doubt that. But still, I said this before, and I said it on Issa's chat, I said it after that. This is all leading up to War Games. Solo's team, it's going to be Solo, a returning Royce Keys, that's Will Hobbs, Eli, possibly Zila, possibly, I doubt it, but possibly. So they're going to need at least one or two more guys, taking on Roman, Jacob, and the Usos, and possibly another guy, who could be Zila, it could be, who knows. Because it's not going to be Sami Zayn, like that was last year, or the year before that. But it's going to be another War Game, another Survivor Series War Games match with Roman in it, and most of the Bloodline. Remember last year was I think it was Roman and the Usos teaming up with Cody and Punk to take on the Vision. That failed miserably because Cody can't do anything right, and Punk took the pin from Braun Breaker. So, Roman technically didn't lose. He was just on the losing team. Of course, you have two schmucks like Cody and Punk on the team. But now, Roman's going to have the Usos and Jacob, and maybe a mystery partner, against Solo's team of Solo, Eli, Royce Keys, and possibly Zila, or maybe one of the MFTs. That might actually happen. Solo gets back with the MFTs, then he has Eli and Royce Keys, and then Roman has the Usos, Jacob, Zila. Smart Peter. Most smart people, I just thought that up. I didn't even think that up off the fly, but now that Zila's in NXT for a little bit, he has that Fatal 4-Way this coming Sunday with my cousin Tony D, Grayson Waller, and who was in that match? Shit. Oh, Mike Santana. So Zila's gonna be. I doubt. I would be surprised that they give Zila the belt and then he holds it for a couple months. Then he just comes up. And then he loses it to probably Mike Santana anyway. And then he comes up right before the Survivor Series, and then he helps Roman. As Roman and the Usos and Jacob are getting the butts kicked by Solo's team. Zila comes and shows up on Raw unexpectedly, and Roman's like, "Well, here's number 5." That's what I'm thinking is happening. Roman with Zila against Solo with the MFTs and Eli and Royce. But Solo's team will still lose. There's no way that Solo's team beats Roman in War Games. No way. I don't care if the MFTs are there. Then you gotta worry about, Shinsuke and Hiromu Takahashi. So, I'm sorry, Kyoki. Sounds like cocky. I'm gonna take a dump. Cocky, Daddy, I made cocky, But Kyoki sounds like, it's a cool name. It means chaos in Japanese. So, because we all know Hiromu hates chaos. He doesn't fear chaos at all. He's just chaotic. He's a crazy man. But we got that. Alright, so that ends Monday Night Raw, and I gave Raw 7.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, let's quickly get to SmackDown. And SmackDown was kind of a tale of two halves. First hour, the opening segment was great. Then the final segment with the Punk versus Kevin Owens and the Toronto screw job, basically. That was what SmackDown was in a nutshell. So let's get to that. So we're from the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto for SmackDown. Joe Tessitore and Bad News Wade Barrett on the call, as always. Alright, so we start with a recap of Randy versus Cody from last week, with Cody, pretty much almost ending Randy's career with a chair throw, thanks to, we saw Daivari just jumping and diving over the announce table to stop Cody with the chair. Shit. But anyway, we got that. So then Sami Zayn rants to Nick Aldis about everyone getting put in front of him, including Randy, who just pops up behind him. And then Cody is in the ring, calls Randy out for a little chitty chat and finish what they started from last week. So Aldis like, nope, not gonna happen, as Randy just zooms to the ring. So basically he's like, no, you're not gonna touch each other, because if you do, yeah. So he makes the match for Sunday night's main event, which was already announced. Cody's like, there's nothing stopping us right now, so let's do it right now. We don't even need Sunday night's main event. Aldis like, well, if either of you attack each other before that match, you will never get a title shot again. Kind of like the reverse Cody Rhodes part. Like, if I don't win, I'm not getting a title shot ever. So then Orton rants about Cody coming out, saying, oh, you're the American daydream. It's like, you're the American, you're the hero, you're the good guy, you're the American nightmare, but you're an American daydream, blah, 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 blah. And then Cody's like, well, I'm going to take out the last real legend, which is you, Randy, and no matter how many times you win the world title, 15, 16, 17, even break the record and go for 18, he says, I'm going to beat you, and that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. So everybody's like, oh, Cody's gonna be with Heyman. I think we're reading into this too much there, kids. But yeah, if Cody does turn heel, I mean, remember what Heyman said long time ago? I don't know what, I think it was when he was still with Roman, or he was with Brock. Remember what Paul said to Cody as he left the ring? He says, no matter what, everybody comes to the wise man. Where's Cody going? To the wise man. I think Oba's going to the wise man too, if you've if you follow the storyline properly. Open your fucking eyes, you marks. So Oba will probably be under Paul Heyman's tutelage. Not that he needs it, but eventually now, I think with that segment this Friday, what happened Friday with Cody saying Paul's catchphrase, I think it's only a matter of time before Cody finally turns heel, and then he just shows up with Paul Heyman, or Paul Heyman shows up, and then he helps Cody win the title, or he just helps him beat Randy, or he does something, and then Cody finally turns heel and is with Paul Heyman. Not that I want to see another Cody Rhodes title reign, because the last 3 have sucked. But this one as a heel might be semi-interesting. And we got that. Alright, moving on from there. Alright, so we got that. Where was I? Alright, so then, Alright, then we got the MFTs. They want some competition for their tag team titles. And then Haku comes in and says, remember who we are? We are the motherfucking Tongans. They bleep that out, obviously, because it's USA Network. Oh, they won't bleep that on Netflix. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But anyway. Alright, so that leads to the rematch for the tag team titles. Poppy Priest and R-Truth taking on Tama Tonga and Hikuleo with Haku at ringside. Match was kind of bleh. 11 and a half minutes. Haku didn't really do anything, but, you know, R-Truth came in, did his whole Cena garbage, and Ron Cena's back. And then Poppy comes in, takes Hikuleo down on the floor, gets chokeslammed on the apron, ow, and that led Tama to hit, Tama and Tala to hit the Red Cross, which is basically a high-low. Nice name for a fucking finisher, Red Cross. What's next? What's next, the National Guard? Oh, my God, they hit him with the National Guard! You know, something like that. So they retained the titles in 11 and a half minutes, and I didn't care. And then after the match, it kind of got interesting as Poppy was pissed at R-Truth. It looked like Poppy was about to turn heel, and everybody's like waiting for it. I'm like, yeah, heinous act coming up. Poppy's turning heel, and no, he just picks up R-Truth and hugs him. Fuck. And there's a rumor going around that Poppy is going to get released along with Carmelo Hayes. Oh, that will be bad. That will be really, really bad. Justice for Melo, justice for Poppy at this point. Justice for Julia, too. Why would you release Melo? Why? Just because he can't win? You know, he gave him a meaningless U.S. title reign? Meaningless. And then you should have put him in a match with Baron Corbin and Trick at SummerSlam, and what do? Melo gets hurt, and then he's eventually getting married. He's going to have his honeymoon, so that's the storyline written him off TV to do that. Eventually, Kaylani, I think, is going to be off TV soon after Heat Wave. Kaylani's going to be off TV because they're going to be fucking on their honeymoon, stuff like that. So, we probably won't see Kaylani until maybe Halloween Havoc. Melo, probably won't see him until sometime in October or November-ish. What happens when they come back, though? What happens? I would say Kaylani just debuts on the main roster, be on SmackDown. Lola Vice is going to be on SmackDown with Poppy, so it makes no sense to release Poppy at this point. I mean, Poppy went to Triple A for that one show, technically. And Lola's kind of, sort of hanging around Triple A. I mean, but they get rid of Poppy. I mean, that's gonna really hurt Lola. She's like, oh, I don't want my boyfriend anymore. Be sad for Lola. So I don't think they're gonna. I think that rumor of Poppy getting released is stupid. And the same thing for Carmelo Hayes. I mean, if you want to release people, get rid of Julia. I'm sorry to say that, but get rid of Julia. She's going nowhere. Hunter does not, for some odd reason, Hunter does not like Julia. I don't know why. Hyped her up, goes to NXT, wins the world title. And then they had that whole thing with her and Stephanie. Stephanie beats her, and then Julia goes to the main roster. Has that whole thing where she's the U.S. champ, I think she beat Chelsea Green to get the U.S. title the first time, and then she wins it the second time, then she lost it, and then they put her with Kiana James, which I thought was a great tag team. No, they don't win the women's tag team titles. And then they release Kiana James, and Julia's just left in obscurity. And now, basically, they're putting her, she's pretty much near catering at this point. It's sad. It's sad. If you want to resurrect Julia's career, move her to fucking Raw. Move her to Raw. Let Stephanie win back the title from Liv. Perfect scenario you have. You have Julia come back. They relive Julia versus Stephanie Julia gets her win back from, like, a year ago from NXT, about a year or so ago. Julia goes on a monster run with the world title. I would have Julia versus Io somewhere down the line. Because I don't know what's gonna, and then Mommy Rhea Ripley can come back to Raw, have fun with Io a little bit more. You know, now I think Io's still on Raw, so I would bring Mommy back on. I would even put Mommy back on SmackDown. Even though she never lost the title, but still, when she does come back, she's probably gonna say, "Hey, I never lost the belt," even though you vacated it. But still, they forced you. She didn't really vacate it because they just put Chelsea Green as the new women's champion. They took that interim shit off finally, which I thought was great. But Mommy has a case now. She's like, well, I never really lost the belt, so maybe they have Mommy. I think they're still gonna have Mommy Rhea Ripley versus Chelsea Green to unify that belt, and then Mommy just stays on SmackDown. Maybe Io comes over from Raw to SmackDown, and they have one final match with Io and Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley finally beats Io after like 18 tries. I don't know anymore. But Julia, at this point, either goes to Raw, goes back to NXT, or they release her and she goes back to Japan. Maybe she goes to AEW. Her and Kyrie. Ooh. Stay down. Settle down. Kyrie's coming to AEW. Coming to AEW. Because the New Day's gonna debut on next Sunday. This Sunday, I should say. The New Day gonna debut. They're saying Kyrie might debut. I would mark out for that. Not the New Day. We already know the New Day are gonna be there. But Kyrie? People are like, oh, Kyrie's not gonna be there. Next thing you know, Kyrie's there. She comes out or she's in the crowd or something like that. I would have her come out, like, near the end. You know what? If you want to debut Kyrie, what I would do is Mercedes and Willow are going to fight. Mercedes winning the belt, right? Mercedes wins the belt. Then, I know it's the daytime. Well, it's probably going to be nighttime by that match. Who knows? But I would have the lights go out. And then next thing you know, you see like a thing on the Tron. Right? The lights go out, this video appears on the Tron. Like, what the fuck is this? Right? And we see this little weird video of a ship. Like a pirate ship. Just going this way. And we don't see the pirate thing yet. We see a regular ship just going through the water in the Atlantic Ocean. Right? And it's crossing the Atlantic, and then it stops right in England, or something like that. And then we don't who's on. We see various extras on the ship or something like that. We don't know who's the captain or anything, or whatever. And then they find a treasure chest. They open the chest, right? And it's like remember how Kyrie had that freaking telescope thing? They can have that, and then they find, Kyrie always had that chips wheel. They find that, and then we see somebody pick that up, right? And then they spin it, and then the camera just zooms up, and it's Kyrie going like this. And then everybody marks out. He's like, she doesn't even have to say anything. She just says, ahoy. You can say ahoy or whatever. Or she just does the pirate pose. And then she smiles. And then the video cuts and we see Kyrie coming out. Or in the ring behind Mercedes. Beats the fuck out of her. Then at Wrestle Dream, you have Kyrie versus Mercedes. And Kyrie whips her ass. Fuck that title reign at this point. Mercedes loses the belt in October. 1+ month reign. Loses to Kyrie. Or they extend it. Maybe Kyrie wins at Full Gear. maybe, maybe either at Full Gear or she wins it at World's End. But Kyrie and Mercedes was slapped so hard. Kyrie and Athena was slapped. I really think Kyrie should beat Athena, become the Ring of Honor champion. Not that she needs that belt, but Kyrie and Ring of Honor would kind of be like, you know, but I think Kyrie can really run laps around the Ring of Honor's roster too much. But yeah, Kyrie's gonna be on the main roster. Her and Mina Shirakawa would be a great tag team. And then you put maybe Shida in. You have some type of I would say you have maybe Kyrie and Mina and Shida have some type of like Japanese faction. Can't really do anything with a Black Lotus. You can't. Of course, we all remember who the Black Lotus was. It was Kyrie, Io, and Miyu. Oh, they could do that. Miyu could come back. Because, you know, with the whole New Japan Stardom thing, because Miyu's kind of sort of in Stardom / New Japan. So the Black Lotus tribe can come back in AEW under Kyrie's leadership. It's not well, it can't bring an Io, obviously, so it's gonna have to be Kyrie and Miyu and maybe Mina. Maybe. Or Shida. One of the two. I would have Mina, but that's just me. Alright, moving on. Blah, 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 blah. I'm talking too much. It's getting really late. Where are we? I don't even know where we are. Alright, so yeah, Pop and Priest almost turned on R-Truth. Maybe we'll see it this week, but alright, we're in the back. CM Punk's ready for Kevin Owens, who's dealing with issues from 20 years ago, even if they're only in his head. And then Randy shows up and says, "Hey, Punk, you look good." And Punk's like, "Oh, I feel good." Because when you look good, you feel good. Stop stealing my line there, Punk. Punky! Phil using my line. Me and Rose's line. Really, we thought of that. Actually, that line is from Mike the Situation, but whatever. But I made it better. When you look good, you feel good. That's a commercial. It should be. Everything me and Rosa think of, we think of it, and then later on, it just shows up on TV. Fuck. We'd be fucking rich by now. We would be living in here. We'd be living somewhere in Los Angeles or something like that. Probably on an island somewhere, our own private island. Shit. We thought of so many fucking things we never pushed through with it. Remember how me and Rosa used to say, I don't know, maybe you, well, for our newcomers, me and Rosa used to say, what do we, now I forget now, I'm so late I can't even think now. Oh, okay. We were thinking of doing an American Express car commercial. You remember I was like, "Don't leave home without it." We were thinking of like a 2000 whatever thing, like a new catchphrase. It's better to have it than not need it, than need it and not have it. And then fucking Consumer Cellular takes that fucking shit. Well, not Consumer Cellular. It was some old. I think it was Consumer Cellular. They took that shit. Like, I heard, because I was watching this Consumer Cellular commercial, these two old bags of fucking talking about cell phones, and then next thing I know, one of them saying, "Better to have it than not need it, than need it and not have it." I'm like, son of a bitch! They took our idea! I told Rosa, I was like, shit, we should have thought of that 15 years ago. I was like, yeah, we did. We didn't send it into the patent office. You know, that takes money, but... So I'm like, so every time, like, me and Rosa think about excellent fucking catchphrase, or we think of a great idea, we sit on our fucking asses and nothing happens, and then somebody else takes the shit. And now I gotta live in this dump. And eventually it won't be. Pretty soon I will not be living here, because I'll be retired. I'm almost there, man. I'm at the point where retirement is years away. You know, I'm about to be 50 in December. My early retirement is 62. So, pretty much 12 plus years to go before I hit early retirement. But if I want full retirement, it's 67. So I gotta wait another 17 years. So by the time that happens, I'll be close to, if I want full retirement, it'd be close to 70, and Rose would be close to, 70-ish. Well, 70 plus, sorry. I'm kidding, but Rose will be older, like close to 70. I'll be about to hit 70. Rose will be a couple years into 70, but it is what it is. I don't give a shit. If I kind of sort of dox her age, I don't give a shit. She don't care either. We're both good-looking people for our age. I still look good even though I'm at 50. Right, ladies? Alright, so we got that. So Randy tells Punk, I'm coming for number 15. And Punk's like, oh, we're looking forward to that. Probably maybe Money in the Bank. Who knows? If anybody should win Money in the Bank for the men, I have either Trick Willie win it, maybe Carmelo, or Javon. Anybody else, they would win and probably lose to Roman or Punk at this point. But I would have like a high flyer win it, like Javon. Because he could win it, but then still cash in. You don't even have to cash in on Roman. You could come on the next night on Raw. It's like, He's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Who are you going to cash it in on? And, Javon being stupid. I say, I want the Intercontinental title. I want the U.S. title. He knows he can't beat Roman. He knows he. Anybody like Javon would lose to Roman easily. If it's Trick or Mello, I think they'll think about going after Roman, but, Roman's like, no, don't come after me. Go after Punk. You have a better chance. So, I would think Trick goes after Punk, wins the belt. Mello could beat Punk, could beat Punk. Then again, you got people like me. I would say Ethan Page, but, I mean, you gotta have a couple of high flyers, obviously. They're gonna have a couple of big men. Maybe like, I would say Big Cass, but who wants to put that guy in? Oba, no. Do not put Oba in Money in the Bank, because you know he's gonna win that. It's pretty much automatic. Don't put Oba in. Let Oba beat Braun, then worry about what to do with him at Money in the Bank. Do not put him in the tournament. Do not put him in qualifying matches. Because you know he's going to win that shit. And if WWE does that, I'm like, just fucking give Oba the belt at this point. Because Oba doesn't even need to beat up Roman. Somebody's going to, like, Solo's team is going to beat up Roman, and Oba's just going to come out. I'm cashing in. He cashes in, and then all he has to do is hit one fall from grace. Roman's done. But imagine Roman kicked out and he beat Oba cashing in. That would be funny as hell. But it's not going to happen. Alright, moving on. From there. Alright, then we got a recap of Chelsea Green being given 30 days to defend her belt or get cleared. So we'll see what happens with that. So that leads to Chelsea in the back apologizes to Tiffy Tiff for, basically making her lose the women's title last week to JC Jane. They run into Paige, and Paige goes to SmackDown. I guess now Paige is on SmackDown. Praises Chelsea for her courage, and then Fatal Influence come in. JC Jane, Fallon, Dawn Henley, and Laney Reed, the women's tag team champions. They come in, they got all the gold, they mock them, and Paige is like, hey, maybe I'll go after your belt there, I have to go after the women's U.S. title there, JC. And basically, JC's like, yeah, right. And then they just leave. That's it. Alright, then we're in the back with Kathy Kelly and Blake Monroe. Oh my, getting ready for her SmackDown debut against Julia. She's trying to pick out her gear. To make her, to make her in-ring debut in a dump like Toronto, which is not really a dump. That's Montreal. So Kathy Kelly thinks Blake will look great in pretty much anything. Oh, Kathy, so great to hear from you. But anyway, Blake thinks... so Blake takes off her robe. We wish she was naked, right? No. Blake takes off her robe, figures the gear she'll be wearing will be fine. She's wearing this blue gear, which is nice. Because anything she wears will work. I don't know what she sees in I think it's Colton and Austin Gunn. What do you see in them? She should have called me first. I'll give you a gun. I'll give you my love gun. Right there, Paul Stanley? Let's do it. Exactly. Not you. I don't want to do it with you. I'd rather do it with Blake Monroe. Or any one of my Asian chicks. But I digress. Any one of my Asian chicks. By the way, Azuki, close to being Asian chick wife number 5. I got Mina number 4. Hazuki could be number 5, and maybe if she wasn't so creepy, Shuri. Because now, MOW, I think Shuri's group Hate are coming to MOW. They're doing something with MOW. Maybe it's just like a one-off thing. I don't know. But, great to see Shuri. And her group Hate. Not the Hate Club, per se, but... Remember the Hate Club from CCW? Yeah, back in the day when CCW was actually good. Now, not so much. Alright, so we get to Blake and Julia, which nearly went nowhere. Because Julia comes out, Blake attacks her from behind. Lays a big old beat down on her, throws her in the ring, hits the neutralizer. Something that you don't really see from her. I thought she was going to hit it with the glamour driver. What did she use? I was going to say the glamorous driver, but that's Mina's move, I think. She's going to hit her finisher. I guess the neutralizer is now her finisher. Oh, Claudio Castagnoli's going to be mad. The Swiss. I don't like it. Speaking of don't like, Claudio and Mox this week in the semifinals of the Continental Cup. And Yuta's like, why is this happening? And then they told him to shut up. Yeah, shut up, William Yuta, you bitch. Just go do your shit in Japan and go away. Just don't come back to AEW ever again. Stay in Japan. But we got that. So yeah, this went nowhere, and then, another thing for Julia, getting beat up. They're just fucking around with Julia. And then they made Blake Monroe's debut look like shit. Who booked that, Hunter? And then Blake goes into the cameras like, I want better competition. I'm world title competition, They really screwed up her debut. Screwed it up. It took too long, too. How long did it take for her to get on SmackDown? For us to see her on SmackDown? Long time. Felt like Emelina all over again. Emelina is the female version of Veer. Took her 12 weeks to fucking come. And then with Blake, it took almost the exact same time. Then she shows up in a random fucking backstage segment. And then we don't see her for a couple weeks, and then now we see her. She finally has her first match, and this is the way you debut her? What is wrong with the fucking creative team? Oh, that's right. WWE creative is uncreative about being creative. Absolutely. I mean, what are we gonna do this week? Have Julia... And then, somebody's facing... Oh, yeah, Tatum Paxley's facing Mia Yim. In her debut. Watch they fuck that up. But, yeah, Blake Monroe's debut on SmackDown just disintegrated. It just disintegrated. I'm sorry. Blake deserves better. Justice for Blake Monroe. Alright. Speaking of that, like I mentioned, that's the next segment after that horrible one. Charlotte and Lexi in the back. They're ready to do something with Tatum. Tatum comes in and is like, oh, we're going to be best friends. We're going to be happy. You know, let's go to brunch. And Charlotte's like, yeah, let's go to lunch. But then she's like, can I bring my own blood? Ew. Charlotte's like, ew, cringe. And then Jade Cargill and the baddies come in, me and B-Fab. Tatum's like, hey, can I ask for your blood? Shit. And then we find out, it's not Tatum versus B-Fab. I thought it was Tatum versus Mia Yim. But, anyway. So we got Tatum versus B-Fab in Tatum's debut this week. Tatum's happy with that. And she's happy that Charlotte had her back. Even though Charlotte really didn't do anything. She just stood there. Kind of went up to Jade. Like, we need to see that again. I mean, Jade's just botchamania written all over it. I'm sorry. I mean, that's sad. That is sad. What did she say? That, AEW was her NXT or something like that? How do you become, like, this big undefeated star, then you lose your 60th match to Chris Catelander, had a nice TBS title reign, and then you go to WWE, had an epic thing with Nia Jax, and then you win the tag team titles with a certain girl named Naomi. That feud, actually I thought that was the only good thing that Jade has done. And then, Jade, I think Jade got a title. I forget. Jade, I think, won some title. I forget, of the world title or something. But that went nowhere, and now, and then they teased Jade and Charlotte, which should have been at SummerSlam. They didn't get it. We got on Smackdown, and the match was garbage. I mean, it started off okay, then the ending with Tatum debuting and just a lot of chicanery, and then Botchamania City near the end. I'm like, come on. And then we're seeing fucking videos of Jade just botching everything on house shows. I mean, God forbid we see Jade Charlotte 2 on, like, TV or at a pay-per-view. And they do that. Ugh. They do that, and I think Nick Khan's like, oh, why do we bring her in here? Kick her out, send her back to AEW. I don't know. Alright, so we got that. Alright, then Trick, Winnie, Shimon, and Little Yachty to come out. Trick's happy to have his good buddy back, but doesn't have his U.S. title back. So he's like, hey, Baron Corbin, since you're backstage looking like a cue ball, because he's bald, why not come out here and get a trick shot? So Corbin comes out on his bike, thinking he's Biker Taker. I wonder where those bikes are coming from. I think a certain Mark Callis is giving him his bike collection. Because there's no way that Corbin has, like, those nice bikes he came out with the last couple weeks. Maybe he has a sponsorship with the bike company in the city they're in. I don't know. Anyway, so Corbin comes out, says the title is off getting a trim. Yeah, finally getting that fur off. So then Yachty took him out with the trick stick. That was last week. So Corbin said, okay. Yeah, so they get in the ring. I think they got in the ring. Trick takes him out with the trick stick again. And Corbin goes to the outside. It says, and then, Trick's like, give me a title shot. Trick's like, give me a title shot at Sunday night's main event. So Corbin's like, alright, I'll give you a shot, but I want 5 minutes with your buddy. And he's like, okay, Yachty, if you last 5 minutes with me, Trick, I'll give you I'll give you the title shot you want. Some money in the bank, probably. Because it's not gonna have 5 minutes, and then they're not gonna do it on Sunday night's main event. And this match should not be on Sunday night's main event. Why is it on Sunday night's main event? I need my drink, because I'm losing my voice. Anyway. Anyway, so, yeah, like I said, why is this match happening on Sunday night's main event? Why? This should be on it should be on this week's SmackDown. So it should happen on this week's SmackDown or next week's SmackDown. Will we getting it? No. Random dumb match on a freaking mini pay-per-view on a Sunday night in Atlanta. So I would think Yachty's gonna win, or because of trick, like Corbin's gonna whip his ass for 4 minutes and 55 seconds, and then somehow Yachty wins the match. He could win the match, and then he wins the match. Trick gets the title shot, but I think Yachty might get a little bit jealous, hey, you get the title shot, but I beat the champ. I should be getting a title shot. Screw that. I don't know. Alright, we get that. Alright, we're in the back. Kevin Owens getting ready for his match with Punk. He's interrupted by Fiend Balor. I'm glad he, Finn's like, hey, Kev, glad you're back. Could have gone for a heads up about SummerSlam. Yeah, you think? So, and then, speaking of guys that got pissed at SummerSlam, Walter comes in, says, Kevin, you need to worry about me if you win the belt. And then he leaves. And then Finn Balor gives Kevin a pep talk. Not that he needs it. So they're kind of slowly going into the Finn Balor Walter feud. Not where that's gonna go. Maybe Money in the Bank. I think Walter should be in Money in the Bank, win Money in the Bank, and beat Cody, but not Cody. Sorry, beat Punk. But it is what it is. We move on. All right, then we get to Tiffy Time versus Lincoln. Get on with Nia Jax at ringside. Chelsea Green eventually comes out later in the match. Doesn't really do anything because she has that broken. Actually, she was in the back. She comes out after the match as Tiffy goes to the prettiest moonsault ever, gets broken up. Lash hits the Lash extension to beat the former U.S. champ. So big win for Lash. So he gets the win in under 7.5 minutes. And then afterwards, 2-on-1 beatdown. Chelsea runs in for the save, and that's it. They had, they're not gonna beat her up, obviously, with the orbital bone injury. But kind of teasing a match with Nia and match with Lash, and eventually Tiffy's gonna turn on Chelsea, turn heel. I think the pink hair is gonna be the start of the heel turn, but we'll see. Moving on. All right, then we got a video for Punk and Kev, and that's it. Then I thought we didn't see this, but we did see it on SmackDown. Shinsuke Nakamura says, "I got a new partner. He's pretty chaotic, and his name is Hiromu Takahashi, whose new name is Kyoki, which means chaos. And Kyoki's talking in Japanese. He's talking in English. He's like, more fight, madness, ticking time bomb, stuff like that. So that those videos continue. Shinsuke and Hiromu are gonna take on the MFTs for the tag team titles. I think they're gonna win them, which will be great. I think Evil eventually will join them, form a 6-man tag team faction. Oh, I don't know what they're gonna be called, but it'd be great. But if Evil comes in, I don't know what's happening with Bushi right now. And God forbid Naito comes in. Oi. Tranquilo. But I don't think Naito's ever going to come to a major promotion. They were kind of teasing Naito going to AEW, but yeah, we get that. But yeah, so Hiromu Takahashi soon to be debuting on SmackDown with Shinsuke going after those tag team titles, and that feud between them and the MFTs is going to be epic. And that's it. All right, then we get to the main event of SmackDown. Kevin Owens and CM Punk for the world title. Sami Zayn comes out. Oh, I knew something was going to happen. Sami Zayn comes out of nowhere, sends Punk into the ring post. Those are back in. Kevin hits a stunner, and then gets a 2.99999999 Batman 5. Fans are going berserk. Sami's going berserk. Then he throws a belt in to Kev. He's like, You don't want the belt, Kev! Kev takes the belt, looks at it, is like, I'm not gonna win it this way, throws it down. Well, pretty much, I think he threw it down or gave it back to Sammy. And then Sammy's like, they have like a tug of war almost. And then Sammy, boom! Knocks Kevin out. Well, knocks Kevin with the belt. Punk gets up, hits the GTS, 1, 2, 3. Fuck. Punk retains the title, which I knew was gonna happen. I thought it was gonna be a DQ. I didn't think Punk was gonna do this. But I could see a rematch. They should do a rematch. At Sunday Night's main event, which I think they might do. I think Kevin's gonna come out and say, hey, Sammy stole my freaking title shot. They might do a triple threat at Sunday Night's main event, or maybe Sammy gets involved in Money in the Bank. Kevin maybe gets put in Money in the Bank. Maybe wins Money in the Bank and cashes in, because he's never won Money in the Bank. So I don't think Sammy's ever won Money in the Bank either. So. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see who does win Money in the Bank. Whether who won it last year? I think a Raw guy won it last year, so I think this year's SmackDown. Because usually, they alternate each year. Io won it last year, I think. So somebody from SmackDown's gonna win it this year. So who? Don't know. But it had to be somebody from the SmackDown roster. I would. If she's in it, I would have JC win it, because I originally had her to win Money in the Bank, but now she has the U.S. title. I would have JC win it. Tiffany already won it, so she won it last year. Okay, so Tiffany won it last year. Excuse me. But I think she won it on. Was she on SmackDown at the time? I think she was on Raw or SmackDown. So can't be Tiffy. So I'm thinking it has to be JC at this point, because it would make no sense to have Io go back to back. But I think Io might be in it, which would be nice. But if somebody from Raw won it, I would have Roxanne Perez win it this year. Or I would say Raquel, but I think it's either going to be Roxanne Perez or it's going to be JC Jane. But I would have Roxy win it, beat Liv. Because, Roxy, they're kicking out Roxy pretty soon anyway. Because pretty much Judgment Day is nothing right now. It's just Dom, JD McDumpfuck, Liv's the leader, and they have Roxanne Perez and Raquel. They're going to kick out Roxanne, probably either after she wins Money in the Bank or after she wins the belt. I don't know. Probably before they even have that match, they're going to kick her out. So then Roxy's like, okay, I'm gonna be a face now. And then Roxy's gonna beat Roxy's gonna beat Liv. Probably maybe around Survivor Series time, unless she's in the War Games match. Which I don't know, but I think Roxy should win Money in the Bank, but hold on to it, don't cash in yet. If she does cash in, I would say cash in at Mania. I think both the Money in the Bank should be cashed in on Mania. So, but we move on. Alright, so Punk wins, and that's it. And after the match, Sammy lays both of them out with belt shots, screams about justice. So, I would assume this week on SmackDown, Kevin's gonna actually call this for a rematch. Nick's gonna give it to him, and then Sammy's gonna complain. Or Punk's gonna say, hey, I want Sammy too. And then Punk and Kevin kind of agrees, like, yeah, we want to beat up Sammy. So, triple threat match, maybe at Sunday Night's main event. Which will probably be happening, but if not, why? Why at Money in the Bank? Don't. But we got that. Alright, so SmackDown I thought was alright. Just first segment, great. Last segment, great. I mean, last match was great. Bad ending. But still, I gave SmackDown 6.5 out of 10 stars, and that's pretty much it. Alright, I gotta get out of here. I'm almost going 2 hours with this fucking review. That should have been less, but... So, you get your SmackDown Raw review for last week. So, we're talking about, so we got that. So, Raw, 6 o'clock tomorrow, and that's it. So, that is it for me. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk about, Yeah, I should be home in enough time. I do got a meeting. I'll probably be home by a couple hours before Raw. So we'll talk about NXT tomorrow. Actually, we'll talk about Lockdown tomorrow. Then after Raw, we'll talk about Death Before Dishonor. Maybe NXT. And then, Tuesday I have a lot of things. I won't not be around Tuesday much. Late Tuesday night, we'll talk about Dynamite and Collision. And then Wednesday, we'll talk about Raw from tomorrow. Then we'll get to NXT, and then get you ready for taped AEW from Glasgow, Scotland. And then we'll get to Thursday night. Thursday we'll do something, and then we got the live edition of TNA. We got Ring of Honor as well. Friday we got taped Smackdown, so probably be watching it early for some of us who have VPNs. So we're watching that. And then Saturday we got Collision. Then Sunday the triple header with I'm not going to do predictions for Triple R. I'm going to do predictions for Heatwave and All In. So we got that. So the weekend we'll be doing a couple more episodes of the Gilmore Chronicles, episode 126 and 27. 128 will be the Labor Day show. Talk a little bit about Labor Day, and then 129 will be the NFL preview. Getting ready for that. Actually, 130, because 129 will be Sunday Night's main event predictions. So, those are the next editions of the Shadow Slayer 2.0. So, episode 130, mark it down, your NFL preview. Before the Niners game. The week of the Niners game, we got that. Alright, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.